Good evening, Northern Colorado. This is N0NYY, Bart. I'm in Evans, Colorado. And I will be net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. This is a directed net. All communications should go through net control. However, we often get into back and forth discussions that are quicker and don't have to go through net control. And since this is not an emergency or even an elevated alert of any sort, that's perfectly okay. Everybody does it a little differently. All amateur radio operators with privileges on the 70-centimeter ham band are invited to participate. Membership in the club is not required, although we suggest it. Membership with any other ham agencies are not required, although we suggest it. And if there is any reason to interrupt the net for emergency traffic this evening, announce the word break, and you will be acknowledged, and the net will be suspended until such emergency traffic is handled. We will take check-ins this evening. Check-outs are not required. Check-ins are just taken for the purpose of practice and the purpose of counting the number of participants that we have in the net. I would prefer to have my check-ins by alphanumeric call and 0NYY, followed by phonetic call, November 0, November, Yankee, Yankee, followed by your name, Bart, and your location. I am in Evans, Colorado.
This is WA0BFD, Whiskey Alpha 0, Bravo, Foxtrot, Delta, Jerry, Loveland, Colorado. No traffic.
Or have just thought up or raised topics of discussion just to see where everybody else stands. It's not tightly controlled by any means. The subjects tend to range pretty far and wide, and that's fine. It's probably more, I would call it, a social activity than anything else. If you are new, this is a great opportunity to get on the air. People will give you all the helpful suggestions you need. You won't find people getting on your case. There is no such thing as a dumb question if you are sincere in asking it. But everybody has to learn their stuff sometime, and everybody's at a different stage. You know, there's going to be quite a few years of experience normally on the net tonight, and those people are here to help. That's why we do this net. So don't be afraid to bring any question whatsoever, or if you're skeptical of bringing the question or self-conscious about it, get in touch with somebody that's on here, and we'll give you an email or a phone number or whatever, and you can get in touch, and we can discuss it offline. If you'd rather go that route, we certainly can. That said, it's good to discuss the subjects on the repeater. That way, everybody else that may have had the same question or may not have thought of it yet will be able to hear the answer as well.
Bart, you had a double already. Somebody checking in.
Roger, roger. I will finish the preamble, and then we will start accepting check-ins. And we will accept check-ins with call suffixes alpha through Mike first. We will accept check-ins 3 at a time. Every 3, I will acknowledge who has checked in. If you believe that you checked in, but you didn't hear yourself called, you probably doubled, and the other person won. And just go ahead and try again. It's no big deal at all. All right, let's go ahead and accept check-ins with call suffixes alpha through Mike. Again, alphabetic sign, call sign, phonetic, call sign, name and location. Whoever would like to check in, go ahead and call net control now.
WA0BFD, Whiskey Alpha 0, Bravo, Foxtrot, Delta, Jerry, Loveland, Colorado. No traffic.
AE0KO, Alpha Echo 0 Kilo Oscar, Brad, Fort Collins, no traffic.
Great, Brian and Greeley, no traffic.
All right, AE0KO. Okay, so net would like to acknowledge WA0BFD, AE0KO. Somebody doubled with Brad, and all I heard was Brian. Brian, would you go again, please?
Yep, more power than me, I guess. KF0, IBX. Kilo Foxtrot 0, India Bravo X-ray, Brian and Greeley.
KF0 IBX acknowledged. Also the fact that he's half the distance to the repeater makes a real big difference too sometimes. All right, we have 3. Next group of 3, go ahead and call net control now.
KF0 GQH, Kilo Foxtrot 0, Golf Quebec Hotel,
Kent in Wellington.
K0ARD, Kilo 0 Alpha Romeo Delta, Ann in Fort Collins.
KF0 GQI, Kilo Foxtrot 0 Golf Quebec India, Doc in Pierce.
All right. Net would like to acknowledge KF0GQH, Kent. K0ARD, howdy, Ann. KF0GQI, Doc. Next three, go ahead.
This is N0EMP, November 0 Echo Mike Papa, with Debbie, K0DBE, Kilo 0 Delta Bravo Echo, and we are both in Fort Collins, no traffic.
Delta 0 LEI, Whiskey 0 Lima Echo India, Chad and Stout, no traffic.
Okay, take a small break there, acknowledging N0EMP, K0DBE, W0LEI. Somebody doubled partially with Chad. That doubling station, go again, please.
Good evening, Bart. This is Kilo 0, Hotel Alpha Kilo, K0HAK, Dave in Fort Collins.
K0MLG, Kilowatt 0, Mike Lima Golf, Marty Berthoud.
Okay.
K0AZA, Kilo 0 Alpha Fort Collins.
With call suffixes alpha through Mike at this time. Next three, please call now.
Double traffic with NYY and AZA.
Kilo 0 Alpha Zulu Alpha, Ron in Fort Collins.
AE0CF Alpha Echo 0 Charlie Foxtrot Ben Fort Collins.
This is Kilo 0 Lima Echo Echo K0LEE Lee in Greeley.
All right, we'll break there. That acknowledges K0AZA, AE0CF. Hi, Ben, good to hear you. And K0LEE in Greeley. Next three, go ahead.
KD0EXB, Kilo Delta 0, Echo X-Ray Victor, Brian Greeley.
That acknowledges KD0EXV. Good evening, Brian. Haven't heard you for a while. It's good to have you on the net tonight. Let's go ahead and open it up. All call suffixes. All call suffixes. Anybody want to check in? Please call Net Control now. Try to do groups of three if you can.
KB0YDN, Kilo Bravo 0 Yankee Delta November, Eric, Pinewood Lake, no traffic.
This is AM6 VAY, Kilo Mike 6, Victor Alpha Yankee, Steve in, where the heck am I? I'm next to Deckers. No traffic.
W5VV, Whiskey 5 Victor Victor, Bill in Livermore.
All right, very good. I would like to acknowledge KB0YDN, KM6VAY, W5VV. One thing I forgot to do and should have done first, doesn't matter when I do it, we're going to let the repeater drop completely. If anybody would like to check in via Echo Link, this is your opportunity to do so. For those of you that don't know, the repeater must drop completely, that means no carrier, in order for an Echo Link person to be able to call in. Any stations wishing to check in on Echo Link, please call now. All right, not hearing any. We will, of course, take check-ins anytime throughout the net. If you don't get to check in at the beginning or if you're late coming in, that's fine. We don't care. We're just happy to have you here. Any other check-ins, any call suffixes at this time, please call now.
Whiskey Baker 0, Quebec Golf Lima, WB0QGL, Jeff in Greeley, no traffic.
All right. Net would like to acknowledge WB0QGL. Jeff, good evening. Let's see. N0 NYY Net Control for this evening's NCARC TechNet, where we welcome any and all questions. Again, I will say no question is silly if you're sincere in asking it, because there's a wide range of experiences out there, and our goal this evening is to help anybody move forward with their knowledge and experience as they wish to. Does anybody have any subjects for the net this evening? Please call Net Control now. 4 questions.
K0HAK.
K0HAK, go ahead, Dave.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm going to set the table a little bit here. I've been playing with some crossband repeating using my little Yaesu FT8900. They're not made anymore, but little quad band radio. And I've been crossband repeating from a UHF frequency to a VHF frequency. And tonight I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I could crossband repeat a DMR signal? And I tried it, and it didn't really work. And I kind of think I might know why, but I wanted to try and get some input on this if anybody else can explain.
So to clarify, Dave, you want a crossband link between DMR and analog FM, is that correct?
Yeah, so I was hoping to have, I've got it's just an FM transceiver, and I was wondering if I could pass DMR across that crossband repeater, but it just didn't seem to quite work.
I'm thinking this through. I'm not a DMR expert, but one more question. Are you taking the DMR and decoding the audio and then attempting to rebroadcast it on FM, or are you taking the digitized DMR signal and attempting to rebroadcast it on FM?
Yeah, I guess I was trying to take the DMR signal and rebroadcast it across FM, but I'm guessing that DMR is its own kind of encoding separate from FM, and therefore it's kind of like, I don't know, trying to do like a double encoding kind of thing maybe?
Well, I'll be the first to tell you I am no DMR expert. I have mucked with it enough times to tear my hair out, and I haven't. But I know we have some guys out there that are much more familiar with it than I am. I would make the supposition that if you were trying to rebroadcast the DMR signal itself on FM, there may be all kinds of issues with modulating that, and then there would certainly be issues with demodulating it because the other station would have to be decoding DMR from an FM signal, which is not a DMR repeater or a DMR transmitter, and I think the receiver would know that. But again, I am way out of my wheelhouse on this one. Somebody chime in here and help.
Yeah, sorry, Bart. It sounds like we're not going to get a solid answer on this tonight. It was just an experiment, and was just kind of looking for an analysis of what might be going on. But I do suspect you're right. I think it is something where, it's encoded, we've got a DMR signal that's encoded across FM, and it's probably just losing something along the way. But anyway, I guess I will just stick to analog for this. So K0HAK, back to net.
Question.
Question, go ahead.
So Dave, you're trying to take an FM, UHF, VHF radio and run DMR crossband through it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I've got two DMR handhelds, and I had, one of them set to the VHF frequency and the other one set to the UHF frequency, and there was, it just wasn't happening.
Well, what radio were you using to crossband?
I've got a little old Yaesu FT8900.
No, you can't. No, it's not possible. Two different modes of operation.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where I was going with it. It was just kind of like a little brain fart on my part, thinking that would work. I don't know, I guess I thought maybe the Yaesu was going to be transmitting more of a raw signal somehow, or, as opposed to, I guess what it's doing in the transceiver is it's receiving the FM, decoding the FM, re-encoding the FM, and transmitting it out that way.
Yeah, it just won't work. Sorry about that. K0MLG.
Yeah, no worries. I will. I'll put that dream down. K0HAK, back to net.
Let me think about that for just a second. What I would suspect you could do is decode DMR to DMR, decode that, take that audio, run that through your FM crossband link, and come out the other side as FM audio without the DMR. I think that DMR requires very high frequency responses way above the normal audio that you see for FM, so I would suspect the audio circuitry in your FM radio that is not a DMR probably doesn't have the, what's the word I'm after, resolution or maybe fidelity to pass the DMR signals, which I think contain much higher frequency bits. However they're encoded, I don't know. Again, reaching way beyond what I know here.
AZA with a comment.
AZA, go ahead, please.
K0AZA. I only know enough about DMR to be dangerous, but a couple of things I might throw out, and that is, Dave, I think one of the big issues is that the time slot information is encoded in the signal, and my guess is the standard radio, amongst other things, probably isn't transmitting the time slot information in a way in which the receiver can use it. So that would be my guess. I do know that with a hotspot, you can do basically what Bart has said, with take DMR in and repeat it. But I've never done it. I've just heard you can do it. There are also some DMR radios. I think Radioddity has one that they're touting that will do single channel crossband, where it receives on one time slot and transmits on another time slot of the same channel. So there are other ways of doing it anyway. And that's my 2 cents worth. K0AZA, back to Nat.
Yeah, that's good info, Ron. I do appreciate that. Unfortunately, I was just kind of trying to do it with what I had on hand. I've got kind of this crossband repeat thing set up where I was trying to maintain a little more fidelity. Like I'm trying to crossband repeat a long distance, and it's a little noisy. So I was trying to use a digital mode to get some of the noise out of it, but I think I'm just going to have to stick to analog in this case. But I appreciate all the input from everybody. K0HAK, back to Nat.
Dave, thanks for bringing that subject up. It was a very, very good and interesting, thought-stimulating conversation. Thanks a lot. I'll be thinking about it all night long. This is N0NYY, Bart and Evans, net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. Do we have any other subjects, questions, announcements, anything of a technical nature for the net this evening? Please call now.
Kilo Golf 6, Oscar, Bravo, Charlie. Question.
KG6OBC. I can't remember if you checked in. If not, I will get you checked in. I thought I recognized your call from tonight, but looking down the list, I don't see it. Name and where are you?
Yeah, I haven't checked in yet, Bart. I was a little tied up trying to deal with some recycling some batteries and stop at the bank. Anyways, name is Justin, and I am mobile at the moment, Fort Collins, making my escape to Eden.
Roger, roger. Good evening, Justin. KG6ODC, I have you checked in. Did you have any questions or comments or subjects for the net this evening?
I do have a question, and that is there any suggestions where to properly recycle lithium-ion batteries? In this specific case, they are batteries for a remote-controlled RC car. I had a little pile sitting around in a box, and I finally figured, well, I'm going to go do the right thing and recycle them. Well, I thought I could take them to work, and when our interstate dealer would pass through every so many days, delivering and picking up batteries, and come to find out, the driver said that their particular facility does not deal with lithium-ion batteries. So I said, fine. I tried to turn them into our parts department, and they don't want nothing to do with them. They said, go over to Batteries Plus, and that's actually just where I was at when the net started. And unfortunately, half the box load that I had of the batteries are puffed. They're swollen, mostly due to age, and a couple of them had a defect in them when I was charging them, and they were not happy. I got retired, they informed me it'd be $20 a battery to recycle them because now they're hazmat. I was wondering if anybody knew better ideas on recycling them.
K0HAK.
There was a double there. I got the last letter of K. Go ahead first.
Assuming you are calling K0HAK and there wasn't another station with the last letter of K.
Go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to ask if you've tried the Larimer County landfill. I know they do a lot of recycling of various materials like that. I take oil and paint and things like that down to there. They have a section area that handles kind of, those chemicals and hazardous materials like that. I'm sure there's still a charge, but it might be better than what you were encountering.
I have not tried there specifically yet. Just kind of started working down the list of trying to properly do this, and I was going for the low-hanging fruit per se. But I will take note of that one.
IBX with a comment.
IBX, go ahead.
Yeah, so I deal with that kind of stuff at work all the time. Light bulbs, random things. So you can check Anderson's, which is probably closer for you since you're in Weld. And then also, Weld County has a hazardous waste, whatever you want to call it, area. It's over by the Weld Clerk and Recorder. And if you look them up, I think it'll be like hazardous waste. And it's back in that area, and they have weird hours, but I'm sure you could probably get rid of them there.
I appreciate the suggestion. I will also note that too. Yeah, I kind of flip-flop between Weld and Larimer since I live in Weld and work in Larimer.
Okay, we got HAK and we got IBX. Was there another station that had doubled with Dave earlier? Go ahead and try again, please.
YDN.
Go ahead, Eric.
Well, the last place I went to was Batteries Plus. So that they do not accept them anymore without a fee suggests something has changed about their status, or they just didn't like you coming in with a box of them. Because they've told me basically you come in with a Ziploc, it's fine. If you come up with a hefty bag, it's commercial disposal.
I just came from Batteries Plus, and I was informed that it was $20 a battery for the ones that are swollen, that are internally having issues. The ones that had a handful of rechargeable flashlight batteries and whatnot, and those were not swollen, and they were perfectly happy to take those for free, but they had an issue with the swollen ones. And at $20 a pop, I was looking at over $120 in just fees, so I politely as I could took my batteries back with me.
Okay, I've left HT batteries there, but none of them were swollen, and they were lithium-ion batteries. So, but I wonder if it's changed or it's just the fact that they are swollen that has set them off. KB0YDN, back to net.
EMP. Great standby. 1 second. I was just going to say it may depend on which person you talk to, and I know you're probably talking about two different stores there, but different people may subjectively decide I will take that or I won't take that based on what I understood in a meeting that I couldn't hear very well. EMP, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a recycling center in the city of Loveland at 400 North Wilson Avenue. They're open normally Tuesday through Sunday, and they take batteries. They take most things for free, except even electronic e-waste will take for free. The other thing you have to pay for is anything with a picture tube or a LCD screen. Video monitors, things like that, there's a fee for those, but and tires, there's a fee. But you might contact them or check out their website. Just Google Loveland Recycling Center and you'll find it. And 0 EMP.
I appreciate that, and I will note that down here, and I'll give them a call. I think that pretty well answers my question. Just kind of chaps my hide in general that a lot of this battery technology is ramrodded down our throats in various ways, and no welcoming solution for getting rid of it or encouraging people to get rid of it properly. So I can see why so many trash trucks catch fire. Anyways, KG6OPC, back to net control.
More suggestion.
Go ahead, Marty.
By the way, Bart, your audio is really low. Shoot them and pick up the pieces, and then all you have is trash.
That is an option. KG6OPC.
Greg, how much of a mess did it make when you disposed of that one battery up against the tree stump?
Other than the fire and smoke, there wasn't a big mess left. Once it cooled down, I was able to just put it in the trash, and I had fully charged that battery, so if he wants them to burn, he might need to charge them first. Or I don't know how much land he's on, if he's got a burn barrel, if he could just burn them in the burn barrel. And 0 EMP.
Yep, that's a good idea. All right, well, good luck with that. But there's a simple solution for you: shoot them, pick up what's left, or put it in the burn barrel. Kaiser MLG.
Thank you, Marty, for being reliable. I knew you were going to say that. Yep, and if you do that, make sure you stay away from the vapors that come off. They could be a little bit of a problem if you breathe them. I don't know to what degree, but I know they're supposed to be very, very bad for you. This is N0NYY net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. Justin, if you find a better answer than you've heard so far, please let me know. This is not the first time this subject has come up, and I'm betting it won't be the last, and it would be nice since as ham radio operators we all use a lot of batteries. I know we do. Some of us are RC guys. We use even more batteries. And so having a good answer. By the way, you can't get in there without a code, but the RC model field that is electric only that I belong to in Longmont, we have a red barrel that sits out there. And RC pilots can put their questionable, puffed, or otherwise worrisome batteries, typically lithium polymer, and others as well, in that red barrel at no charge to us. However, you either have to show up when somebody's there and the gate is open, or you have to be a member and have a code. I am, and I do. I don't know what we do with those batteries, but I will make an inquiry and find out, because whatever the RC Club does with those batteries is probably a pretty good answer. I just don't know what it is. Do we have any other subjects of discussion or questions for the net this evening? Please call net control now.
K0ARD with a comment.
K0ARD, go ahead, Ann. Good evening.
Good evening, Bart. I'm thinking it would be great to publish in the newsletter information on battery recycling. And so if people want to send me the info that they have, you can just email, and I'll try to compile it out. I'll do a little searching around myself as well to see what I come up with. So it'd be kind of nice to have it all in one place.
Thank you for thinking of that. That is an excellent idea. So, Justin, you can let me know. You can let Ann know. I think you can find Ann's email probably on the website. You can find mine on QRZ. Let us know what you find out. Oh, and if you want to send me an email with the information on the location of the store that told you $20 a piece for the pillowed batteries, I would appreciate having that information, and I can pass it along. We can find out eventually if they all do that. Some of them do, if that one is particularly stringent, or what the situation is there. But all of us really need to know this stuff. I think it would be very helpful.
I will try and do my best, Bart, and get that info over to you. I personally feel that everyone, not even just in any particular community, everybody should know what to be able to do with batteries because our lives are so heavily dependent on them. And it ain't just the days of some car batteries and maybe some alkalines. There's all kinds of batteries, chemistries, and voltages out there. Come across them quite often. In my particular professional setting, I come across not only your lead acid, your absorbed glass mat batteries, also our electric vehicles. Very, very, very big battery, and very angry when things go sideways. And and at least on our manufacturer side that I see, they're just now barely figuring out what to do to recycle them. But they're having us replace them. KG6OBC.
Roger, Roger. This problem is not going to shrink. It is going to grow. I'm fairly certain of that. All right, we'll try one more time. Do we have any other topics of discussion for the net or questions? Please call Net Control now. All right, well, not hearing any others, I'll go ahead and close the net. If anyone does have any additional questions they didn't get to ask, feel free. I'm sure many of the folks on the net will stay on the net. I'll be on for a little while yet. I had 20 check-ins this evening, a little bigger than the last couple I'd had. Thank you, each and every one of you, for checking in tonight. I really appreciate it. Good to have you here, and good to have your support on the net. That ran about 42 minutes by my clock, which doesn't mean much. 731 in all, and we will return the repeater to its normal service. This is N0NYY.
KG6OBC Mobile.
This presentation was brought to you by the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. For more information, visit our website, ncarc.net. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.